Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another charity FPL Chess League match. It's Monday night, which means it's time for some more chess action, and there's no football to distract us either. So today I am joined once again by FPL Dave. How are you doing?
I'm doing alright, man. How's things with you?
Yeah, good. I'm looking forward to this today. I'm just going to tell the players that they can start, but we've actually reached an important part of the competition because from this weekend the FPL head-to-heads have started, which means there are bonus points up for grabs now, and I haven't actually updated the tables yet for game week 21, but
Okay.
bonus points are now up for grabs in FPL as well as the chess games. So yeah, anyway, today we have got a Division 2 game between FPL Slovakia and FPL Alex. I'm just going to flash up the standings for a second. And you can see how Division 2 is going at the moment. Slovakia's played a few games. Alex has played one or two as well. Yeah, they'll both be...
What are their ratings?
Sorry?
What are their ratings? Just so people know.
Slovakia's around, I think he's around the 900 mark. And Alex, I'm not sure, similar, maybe just over the 1,000 mark. So we'll see in a second when they start. So we're just waiting for the players to begin. Alex is 1,000, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, so... Yeah, this tournament's been going for a few weeks now. If you're new and you don't know much about it, yeah, I decided it'd be good to set up a little tournament for FPL players to improve their chess and have some fun, and also raise a bit of money for charity. And there's, as you saw, 3 divisions of 6 players with promotion and relegation between the divisions. And yeah, we'll be looking to do another season at the start of the next football season. If you ever... Yeah, if you play chess and you want to join in, you'll see more details about that closer to the time. But the players have begun. Do you want me to send you a link to the game, or do you...
I've got it.
Great.
I figured it out on my own. I've got my glasses on today, so it's much easier for me to do things that require thinking when I've got my glasses on. I go true nerd as soon as I put them on.
Makes you nerdier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to move this to the middle screen so I can look at your beautiful face and watch the chess at the same time.
I'm just going to get the stream up as well so I can see the chat. But things have started fairly standard. E4 and E5, 2 very normal opening moves. Now, FPL Dave, tell everyone your rating for those who don't know. I'm about, in Rapid, I'm about 1,500. So I'm okay. But how good are you, Dave?
My rapid on chess.com has declined recently. I'm playing a lot of billet chess on live chess, but yeah, I think normally I'm about 1950, but it's went right down to like 1890 recently because I've been playing too much billet chess and I'm getting too impatient. But yeah, rapid's probably my least favorite. Say that again?
Playing too quickly now in your rapid games, or?
Yeah, like I'll literally I'll get bored waiting for someone to move or do it, and I'll be like, I wonder what happens if I do this. Like hope chess, it's called, when you're like you hope he doesn't see or whatever. So yeah, I've just been playing too much billet chess to really dig deep with my rapid. But yeah, about 1900 to 1950 is where I usually am.
Still,
these days.
That is not too shabby. That is a very good rating, and yeah, so we know that we'll have some solid chess analysis, and you'll probably see things that I miss.
That's okay.
But yeah, it should be.
That's a good point. Like, it doesn't matter if you miss stuff as long as the person who's playing doesn't miss them.
That is true.
And if they miss them, then we could definitely go back and tell them that they should have done this or that or whatever. Yeah. So it'll be good. It's good for everyone who's playing to watch these back as well. The analysis. Certainly. I've had a few people message me. So it's been really beneficial for everyone.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you make of that pawn take?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's potentially just a pawn for a pawn, is it? With knight capture e5. So don't think there's too much in it. unless I'm missing something there. Yeah. So Alex is taken back on e5. Who do you think's done slightly better in the opening here? Who do you prefer, black or white?
I don't see in color, mate. So right there, we're gonna have a bit of a. No, I'm joking. I like. Well, white's got more pieces out, right? So right away,
Yes.
black now has a chance of castling one step ahead. There's a weird white pawn that doesn't have any other pawns in the center, though. So I kind of just want to see more development. Where there's a lot of things happening all at once. I like that they didn't keep the tension with the pawns in the middle, which is usually what you see, but instead we've got this weird white bishop showdown.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Facing each other off, yeah. Yeah, I mean, in the opening, generally, if you're quite new to chess, you want to be getting your knights and your bishops out towards the centre of the board and castling your king to safety. So both players have done that quite well so far, but yeah, there is this kind of weird tension in the middle.
Yeah, perfect move there. I really like that. So the bishop was able to come out, the black bishop was able to come out with tempo because it's attacking the knight. So instead of the knight going backwards or, to be honest, it was the only spot it could go to that was safe because it would have been taken out by the bishop anywhere else or the pawns. But now he has a chance to actually put pressure on that black bishop. Although I wouldn't take it. Would you take that black bishop? With your knight?
With the knight?
Aye. It's so tempting. It's so tempting.
You're creating an isolated pawn for black, which is not bad, and that bishop is quite a strong bishop. So I would certainly consider it, personally.
The issue would be if you take that, if you go knight to d6 and you take the bishop, he takes back with the pawn, and then he's got two pawns in the center, and you only have one. So
yes,
for safety, and he knows that as well, right? There's no point in me wasting one of my moves to move my black bishop backwards or forwards, as the case may be, maybe to b4 to put pressure on the knight at c3. But instead, you just leave it and you develop your pieces exactly what he's done, moving the rook out onto the semi-open file, and it means that we've got the momentum still. We've got that tempo was really, really well done with the bishop because it means that black is now on the front foot as opposed to white, which is not where white wants to be.
Yeah, Alex has got to be careful not to let this e-pawn advance too far up the board. It's nicely supported by the rook at the moment. I do like black's position. I think he's got good control over the centre of the board at the moment. Just looking in the chat, it's good to see some of you in. Hi, FPL Glasto. There's been a lot going on in the chat. Stevo's here, who's just made it over 700 rating, which is good. Nice. I don't know if you've seen any of the recent games, but Stevo has been improving quite a bit recently. Who else is in the chat?
That's great.
Isaac. Yeah, and quite a few people supporting Alex, which is good to see, but a lot's been happening in the chat. So
fan club.
Let's have a look.
So there was a real dirty move there. Pawn the c6 move I really, really, really don't like. Yes, it pushes the bishop, but if you notice, it now means that the black bishop for a split second there was actually undefended. So what would have happened is the knight takes the black bishop and is attacking the rook. So if you did end up taking the bishop with that pawn, then the rook would have been gone, and it would have been a rook and a bishop for a knight and a bishop, which is much better.
Yeah, so at the end of all these exchanges, black loses out. A rook for a bishop. So
but luckily he didn't see it.
And then after bishop a4, that runs right into pawn to b5, which is a fork that the computer doesn't like because I have forgotten about the hanging bishop. So what is the best move after the bishop retreats to a4. What have I missed?
If when the bishop moved out there, I think the fork was still on with the pawn, because you're at least pushing the bishop down. But it doesn't. It's not a huge deal, because everything's kind of traded out evenly. The reason why I would still do the pawn move is just simply because those pawns are on the opposite side of your king, so those are the pawns that you're wanting to march down the board, and pushing a bishop back is a very easy and free way of moving your pawns, right? Because he has to respond immediately. So keep tempo up while marching your little platoon. All good things.
I'm trying to figure out why the computer's saying -4 for black, and I can't even see it after bishop a4. It's not that you do. Yes, I remember you saying you don't like playing with the computer, probably for this exact reason.
So I'm looking at the stream now. I'm trying to figure out as well. There must be something pushes that over. Moving that. There must be a reason. I mean, the fork is on, so that bishop. I think it's just check. You check with the bishop, so you sacrifice it. The black one.
No wonder I didn't spot it. Yeah.
And then potentially and then you can still fork. I don't know if that would give you I can't see why that would give you such a high.
On the analysis board, I've taken the bishop takes f2, the king has to move, then the knight hops into g4, and then when the king moves back again, there must be some great follow-up. I think it's queen to h4, threatening checkmate on h7. Sorry, not checkmate on h7, but threatening h7 and f2. Sorry, h2 and f2 at the same time. And
because that knight is undefended. We have to remember on c4, so that is also something to figure out. But yeah, what does he do after queen goes all the way down? Very I think you need to sacrifice your own queen for the knight. Maybe.
Is there an imminent? Is it going to be a checkmate if I just play a random move for white and then play? Yeah, it is. It then says it's mate in 5, so queen to h2, then queen down to h1.
Yeah, this is devastating. Because you always have the ability to see if I was able to defend this perfectly. You always have that b5 move, the pawn to attack both the bishop and the knight. So both sides is actually you're attacking perfectly on both sides. But we didn't see that, and the bishop was taken off the board by the knight, the only knight that wasn't defended, which is a perfect trade. And now we've got a bit more trades, trying to take that pawn out of the game. So white's now fighting for the center again. This knight will have to be dealt with immediately because it's attacking the queen, which is cool. Although I don't really like the white bishop is not doing too well. First of all, white is not fully developed yet. That black bishop still sitting on its starting out position. And it hates that position.
It does.
Right, we've got a queen move. I don't mind it. I guess it's attacking the bishop, so it's got a little bit of purpose, but
that's about
not a whole lot.
I mean, would you just retreat the bishop back to b3, or would you play?
We're doubling pawns up at the worst.
Yeah, I mean, if you
doubling up, I think what we're. Oh, sorry, go.
I was just going to say, if you do end up having the exchange of bishops, you take back, presumably with the a pawn, to open up the a file for your rook, and you may have some double pawns, but then you've got a nice open file for your rook to operate in, I would say.
Yeah, the only thing we need to note though in there, and put it on the back burner in case it comes up again, is that queen is attacking our rook now. I keep saying we're white, but it's really difficult for me because I'm used to if I'm watching something over the board, I'll watch it from the side, so like they're on the right and left. But watching it here live is like I am white now. I am 100% FPL Alex just because of the way it's set up. So I'm gonna keep saying our. I don't mean like I'm on his side and I hate Slovakia. I'm sure Slovakia is a lovely country. But anyway, our rook on e1 is being attacked by the queen. If for whatever reason the bishop stays where it is on c1, and we remove the knight and the bishop from the e file, it means that we have a checkmate. The rook comes down, attacks our rook. The queen then has to take, and then the queen takes to finish us off. So that is something that we need to be very careful about.
Yeah, so I'll just illustrate that. And somehow, let's say white decides to, I mean, just looking at the position we've got now, let's say white decides to attack the rook here. Maybe moves the rook. And then, I don't know, play a random move. Here we go. Suddenly, we have the background checkmate threats. Now, obviously, none of that is likely to happen in the game, but just to illustrate exactly what the threat is, if we move around a few pieces there, it's something that Alex has got to be wary of at the moment.
Yeah. So this knight move that we actually seen, c5, knight c5, was really poor, because it means that we now have trickery business. We can get rid of our knight real quick, and we can check by taking their knight, and then we've got tempo. The pawn being moved up was a bit of a... You could have kicked the queen the exact same way, but by moving your bishop out instead of moving the pawn up. And that would obviously develop it at least by one square, and developing by one square is better than potentially ruining your pawn structure. But
bishop to d2, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's
instead
not a
of
bad square.
instead of moving the queen. Aye. Yeah. But it's fine. So where the queen, I don't know. The computer probably really didn't like that knight move.
It didn't. It says now that white is clearly winning.
Yeah. So what we would want to do is, in this position, is simply, ruin the pawn structure of black.
So knight takes f6 is what you're saying.
I think so. Yeah.
And then takes and
take with a rook. Move your bishop up. You can also check with your queen.
There's all sorts.
I would take that bishop out of the game first, but yeah, it'd be a very interesting position with a lot of tempo on white side.
So what we've seen in the game, though, is so c3 chasing the queen back, and then he does finally get his bishop out into the open and puts it on g5, which is not a great move. And I'll tell you why. If we go to the analysis board, he has missed this. This is called a discovered attack. So before, we had these knights just staring each other down on c5 and e4. And it's no biggie if black takes the white knight, because it's just an even exchange. Except now, when this happens, it doesn't matter whether white takes back with the rook or the pawn, the bishop will fall because the queen is now attacking this bishop. The question is, has Slovakia seen it? And he hasn't seen it. He played
not yet
to d7 instead, so just attacking the bishop directly, but I think he just completely missed it.
Yeah, that's okay though. He's going to kick himself, but it's really difficult to see, I think, especially for his rating. But for the simple move of getting your bishop out, I like it a lot.
Yes.
Because it means that now we can take that knight and take its defender. So we'd be up a pawn. And just in case, I know he's I wasn't expecting that, jumping in with the knight all the way up. Okay.
So the bishop could go, and then he'd take the knight. So, I mean, we could see here two pieces, so that the knight and the bishop for the rook, which is not so bad. It's close to an even trade. But certainly this is...
I'm still trying to figure it. These. How long have these bishops been looking at each other? Honestly, I feel like it's been all game. So hold on. When did they first start staring at each other? Move. 4. Move 4. They started staring at each other, and then we got a little block, and then move 14, and they've been staring at each other for... So they've literally been looking at each other for like 12 moves total. Yeah. Which is ridiculous. I don't think I'd be able to hold it in. See, this is what I'm talking about by playing rapid and like just noticing that it would do my head in. I'd be like, no, I have to take that.
You've got to take it or move the bishop out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to do something.
So FPL Slovakia has gone ahead and taken the bishop. So I would expect Alex to take the knight here. One of the things I'm pleased about is, I mean, you're talking about moving too quickly. There have been some games that we've seen where players have moved way too quickly and just need to spend a bit more time to, especially with spotting tactics and things like that. But both players have used a good amount of time, and it is I don't know about you, but I think this is quite a complicated and sharp position with tactics all over the place and a lot of things that are very easy to miss. So it's been quite an interesting game so far. Yeah, there's been a lot going on. Obviously, he missed the bishop. But okay, so this move, bishop to... He didn't take the rook, he took the pawn instead on b7. I'm curious to know why he did that. But this move, bishop to h3, is... If you're thinking that's a silly move, you can just take with the pawn. That pawn is pinned to the king. And there is the threat of checkmate that needs to be dealt with now. But with proper defense, it's not a massive deal. If you're FPL Alex.
Yep. You can move your queen to f3 if you wanted. You can move your pawn to g3 if you wanted. I much prefer the queen move because it gives you a tempo. You know, you're attacking the bishop now.
Yes.
And if you move your pawn, then it's giving him the white squares, right? It's giving him what he wants. Instead, he's moved this king, which is probably... I think it might be checkmate.
It is.
Yeah, that's checkmate.
I don't know if he thought he could escape to e2 and not notice that the rook is defending that square, but if Slovakia sees it, it is checkmate in 1. Will he spot it and go 1-0 up?
Funny, we were giving him like real props for it. We're taking our time, we're thinking of the moves. Oh, that king is a that's a really unfortunate move to such a good position. Oh,
with the bishop.
You know what? Honestly, it's still checkmate. It doesn't matter.
Maybe he just wants to draw things out. So the only move is king back to g2. And then
g1. G1's 4.
G1 rather. And then stick the bishop on f3. Would
right back where it was.
At the very least win, if it goes to f3, at the very least he'll win the queen, because the black queen will be checking the king, and then he can take the queen with his bishop next turn. But it doesn't matter because only move now is king to h1, as we've seen, and then the queen can come into g2, and it's checkmate. Wow.
Yeah, if you go back to the move just before the bishop took, so say the rook wasn't there at the top, taking with the bishop's actually good here.
Which move are you talking about?
So, we can do it after. Is he coming on just now?
No, we've got our second game to come.
Second game first.
Yeah.
Okay. I think they're just about to start, but
so
we can go over it after.
Yeah, we'll go back to it.
It was just an interesting situation where even if that rook wasn't there, it was still going to be checkmate if he did some cool stuff with the bishop and the queen. Or at the very least, if with perfect defense, he was getting his queen. So if that rook wasn't there, there was some real cool tactics we could have played. But that's okay. A great win, seeing that opportunity to just attack and not worry too much about all the other stuff that was going on. And it was just unfortunate losing his bishop up there on g5.
Yeah, some good aggression that paid off really well there. Yeah. I think, at this level, it's just really important to just spot things like that, spot tactics, and just reduce the amount of silly mistakes you make.
That's basically it. See if I could give one key bit of advice to anyone who's playing chess at lower levels and is trying to improve, is that blunders is your worst enemy. The opponent isn't your worst enemy. Blunders is. If you play a full game without making a blunder, you will probably win that game.
Yes.
Up until maybe about 1700, you will probably win your game. So what I would do is just whenever I move a piece, I need to make sure that my piece is defended. And if I'm moving a piece that was defending something, I need to make note of that. Okay, so I'm moving the knight, so now the bishop is not defended anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So make sure you know what pieces are paired together. I know that this knight is defending this bishop, so those are paired together. And if I move any of them, they're no longer paired. And just have that in your head, so that when you come back to potentially moving those pieces, you know, all right, okay, those are paired. I'm moving this pairing. I need to recalculate that in my head. So yeah, that's exactly what I do. An interesting mirror matchup at this point.
Yeah, both
3 moves in,
doing exactly the same as each other. I don't play a lot of e4, so don't know what's your go-to opening on the whole.
For white it would be d4, definitely.
Same.
Definitely d4. I really like playing c4 afterwards, and then getting my bishop out. I just prefer having an open board.
Yeah.
So anytime black tries to close it with, you know, the French defense or Caracan, if I'm actually playing e4 or whatever, I just open the board up as best as I can, because I don't like to be trapped in kind of pawn mind games. Because like I said, I'm always wanting to break tension, even though I know you're not supposed to.
So you prefer open positions with lots of attacking chances to kind of closed positional positions?
Yeah, well, it depends. If I'm black, I really like closing everything out. But if I'm white, yeah, I want to be marching pawns. I want to make sure that, you know, that if there's lots of tension in the middle, I break that tension as quick as possible. But it honestly depends. Like with perfect defense, breaking pawn structures down is not always the best thing to do. But by and large, I just try to make sure that I get to the end game without losing any pieces.
Yeah. I don't know if you probably will have noticed when you commentated on one of our matches, but I think I'm someone who, first and foremost, let's be solid and slowly improve my position. That's how I like to play. I play d4 as well. Also getting the bishop out and playing a bit of the London system quite often, especially in Blitz, because you pretty much go for the same setup every time, no matter what black does. So you can rattle off those moves really, really quickly. Yes. But anyway, back to the game. We've got this kind of tension in the middle of the board that's been broken with very interesting sequence. So Slovakia played.
Pawn takes e5 is definitely a good move, because we're gonna have some double ups, and we're gonna win the center.
Yeah. So this knight is pinned to the queen; it can't move, so Alex played h6, attacking bishop, wanted to kick it out, and Slovakia decided, no, I'm not going to move my bishop out of the way, but instead I'm going to attack your knight, pretty much forcing the
perfect play there for black was to unpin the knight by moving your bishop in between. So just the bishop to e7 stops the pawn move, stops everything.
Bishop e7 is a very solid move, developing another piece and allowing you king to castle at the same time.
So now the situation we see ourselves in, unfortunately, the pawn on d5 is probably going to fall, especially now that he's taken with the queen. Preferring to double up. I always, if I'm going to have to double up my pawns, I would want to double up as close to the center as possible. So he had a choice there. He could have had that double on G or double on F. I think I would have chosen the F and retaken with the pawn. But it's not a huge deal. So we see now with that, just that one bit of play where we thought we'll kick that bishop away. We've now lost the center and we're back in development, and we also have a pawn missing as well. So unlucky from Alex there. FPL Slovakia taking it to him this game.
He is, yeah. I'm going to be interested to see what white does, and in particular what side he castles, because it's almost pretty standard to castle kingside, but I mean this is probably irrelevant based on the move we've just seen. But I was just thinking that castling queenside would be better because of this rook on the H file, but instead we have this queen takes b2, which looks very dangerous. It's attacking the rook, but it's no big deal. He does lose a pawn, but he doesn't lose anything more. He can just move the knight to d2, and then the queen defends the rook.
Yeah, I actually didn't see that move, which is amazing. It was a surprise to me.
Which side white was going to castle, but now actually this is good for Alex, because either the white king's going to get stuck in the center, or it's going to castle into this castle kingside, and this rook is going to be very, very dangerous on the H file.
Well, actually, he's now got great moves. Bishop to b4, which pins that knight that he's just moved. Then another bishop move, or even the pawn moves down to attack the defensive knight on f3. So if he pins the knight on d2 with the bishop, it means that we would also like to get rid of the defender, which is something we talk a lot about in chess. If you can't attack a piece because it's got too many defenders, let's remove some of them. And one of those defenders for that pinned knight, if he was to pin it with the bishop, would be his other knight. So even pushing that pawn down that's close to it, or moving our bishop out, will then, get rid of that knight. And then we could do some cheeky stuff like, bishop takes knight, check, queen has to move up, then the rook's free, and the queen can go ahead and scoop that up. There's a few different things you can do.
Yeah, I'll just try and show some of that. So I've already drawn a few arrows, but if I just
seen the arrows, lovely looking arrows.
random move for white, and then you'll see not that random move for white. That would be, I don't know, something like this, and then the idea being once this knight moves out of the way, you can take, and then if you take back with the queen, the rook falls at the end. And if you take back with the king, well, your king's just in the center of the board and in a bit of trouble. So, but we didn't see that. We saw e5 instead, and then bishop to d3, just getting the bishop out and preparing the way to castle, which still feels dangerous, but probably slightly less dangerous than keeping his king in the center of the board where it is now.
Yeah, now we've got a way to move the king out of danger. So perfect move from Slovakia. Get that bishop out the way so that we can move our king safely in. I hate that pawn move from Alex. Alex, if you're watching this back afterwards, I hate that move. You had so many good bishop moves. I think the problem, it's a great move if your bishops were already out, because we're attacking down that side, so let's march our pawns down, maybe we can do something with them. But because the bishops are still there, I want you to develop first. Develop your bishop, your knight, and then we can start marching our pawns. So yeah, unfortunately, he had a great couple of moves ahead of him, but we've seen some pawn development instead. So hopefully we see the castling here. And then it's going to be real tricky. I also just noticed, he can't really castle kingside because, like you said earlier, his pawn structure is a bit messed up over there. So he can't really do a safe king spot over there. Is now null and void. And because he's just moved that pawn from his other side, that's also unsafe. So I don't know where his king's going to go.
Both kings could just be in a bit of trouble, because the board's been blown open. But Yeah, I mean, white is closer to fully developed than black is. So that is, if anyone's going to start pushing and mounting an attack, it's going to be Slovakia. Even though we were talking up Alex's position before, he's just been a bit slow in getting, especially those bishops out, like you were saying. I think there's a tactic here somewhere as well. Not sure what it is though.
Well, after the castle.
For white's got something.
Oh, well, what we could do is we could rook b1, queen has to move, and then we've got the bishop takes pawn with check, and that would obviously force the bishop out. And then once we take that bishop, the knight has to move, and then we can stop the king from castling by doing rook e1.
Yeah. Now, castling for white is very, very good because this rook could just plant itself on e1, and there's a bit of trouble ahead.
I'm interested in knowing. So this bishop, the queen moved out, which is fair enough, I guess. If you're scared of, I don't know. If you're scared of, I don't know what you'd be scared of, but fine, fair enough. You move your queen out because you're scared. But then it kind of blocks the almost perfect square for the bishop. So the bishop instead is moved, kind of passively. But yeah, you see that the computer really likes that bishop tactic that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway,
here though, I was going to say the bishop that he's just moved is going to have to go back to d7 to block the check, but instead he's opted to move the king, which is dangerous, very, very dangerous. And now, I think
he likes moving his king in weird places. That's like his favorite thing to do. So, interesting, right?
Rook to b1
with perfect play.
Where does the queen go?
Still think. Yeah. But you know what? That's an even. I think it's check. Okay, hold on. I think he's lost a lot here. So you know that move the rook out and then check with the bishop thing that we were talking about.
I'm there. I've done.
That's going to be even more powerful now that the king's moved there.
After the bishop check, he's got to either move the king back to d8 or block with the pawn. Or
if he moves the king back to d8, it's checkmate. Oh no, it's not. It's nearly checkmate. I was thinking if you move the rook right up, but instead what we want to do is move the queen to e2, and it's very, very difficult to stop.
So then the threat is, you could even, if I play again a random move for black, you could sacrifice the queen in order to checkmate the king down on e8 and defended by this.
Wow!
Do I need
Wait
to
till you see what we've just witnessed. I just wasn't expecting a bishop sacrifice.
Wow.
Oh, the phone. Right.
I don't know what the other variation was with the pawn blocking, but I think it was still very good for white. But anyway. So 2 games in a row we've seen a bishop sacrifice on h2. Not bishop sacrifice. Sorry, it's defended by the rook here.
I think I prefer the...
Never mind. It's
I think I prefer the first one. Now I know why the bishop went there. It wasn't for defense, it was for offense. Yes. All right, okay. So the king has to move, and then
F1.
We move maybe the queen over, attacking the knight, and also, in a more attacking spot. I think with perfect play, this is really bad for black, but I don't know if we'll see perfect play.
I don't see a good follow up here for Alex. I think he's just won the pawn, and that's about it, really.
Well, there is perfect play, but I think that we're playing a little bit hope chess here. So like that move right there is pretty decent. Yeah. Unfortunately, if he checks the king with the queen, then he's defended everything, and it's totally fine. But will he see that queen check move? There's only one right move here, I'm pretty sure.
G4, are you saying?
Oh,
no.
Or he can move the knight back, or even move the.
He's got options. He's got lots of options here.
I was sorry. I seen a really good one, and I was like, yeah, I think that's the only one. And then no, actually, no. There's yeah, he's fine. But I really like that. Again, he's thinking, I'm attacking both knights. His queen can only be defending one. How does he defend both the knights? Unfortunately, those knights are close enough that they can lock back together, so they'll defend each other.
So sticking that knight back on f3. Or, in fact, probably slightly better is moving the other knight to f3. They defend each other, which is nice. It doesn't like...
I think I prefer my queen move to check, and it's simply because it's more aggressive, and it gets the queen out. Now, I know the queen will be in danger as soon as the king moves, but I think I'd be able to do some hocus pocus with my knight. So, for example, if the queen moves and then the king moves, then you've got check with the knight to f6, right? Or sorry, f7.
Yeah. So the only moves for the king are to b8 and d6, and either way, the knight will be able to check the king, and we are...
Yeah, and that gets that out of danger.
That's checkmate if he goes back to d8. So if he's forced to go to d6, and then we are just so close.
Ooh, interesting.
And the king has to...
He's done what I asked. He's done what I asked, but it wasn't with the queen. It was with the bishop, which is fair enough.
I'm going to go to the live position in just a sec. I'm just trying to follow up on what we were saying.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, so we obviously we can't complete the fork that we are all seeing because the queen's in danger, but the queen is very close to completing.
Basically, the king is very close to being mated, not quite, and Slovakia can just keep his foot on the pedal, maybe bring his rook up here. And you see, the game's finished.
Yeah, unfortunately, he moved his king back, which is, like you said, the one thing he wasn't allowed to do.
There it is. Yeah. So that is checkmate. I think the problem for Alex, his bishop and his knight still on their starting squares, not being able to move. Same with the rook. He just didn't get his pieces out in time, and then left himself open to a winning attack. So well played to FPL.
Great game. Yeah, Slovakia did so well both games. Alex was one move away from victory in both games, but just lost his tempo along the way. Well done, Slovakia. You've done your country proud. Great game.
Yeah. So let's have a look. I'm going to bring up the standings again, and also get them up on my own laptop. But you should be able to see them now. So I won't enter in the scores right now, but I'll just open the spreadsheet. So hopefully you can see that. But that win will put FPL Slovakia on 4 points. So he'll be going above Rob Marshall and level on points with Stevo. That second spot is up for grabs for a promotion playoff, which could be against me because I'm currently sat on 2 points from 4 games in Division 1.
Oh no!
But
isn't that always the way? You set the tournament and then you lose it.
Yeah,
that always happens.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I'd have to win my last match and hope a couple of others lose all their remaining matches, and also hope that FPL goes well in the next few weeks. I can tell you,
this is like hoping that West Ham stay in the Premier League last season. It was like, right, how many games do they have? How many? That's what I remember watching them plan FPL, and them literally counting on their finger, like, how many other teams do we need to lose, and how many times?
You've reminded me that there's been a lack of chess and football analogies for the chessboard, which you've been bringing to your streams.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Slovakia just did a Brighton versus Spurs there, based on how ahead Black was in the middle of that game. Yes, got you there. got one.
That was very nice. I did think of one earlier, but we didn't get a chance. I was thinking I'm just thinking in an end game. Imagine a rook and a pawn end game with a pawn advancing to the 7th rank, and you retreat your rook to defend the 8th rank. I was thinking it'd be a bit like a sweeper keeper, Manuel Neuer type thing to stop.
There you go.
Never
I love that you're thinking of right. You're writing them down pre-game and hoping the situation comes up. That's you definitely know them. Like commentators in football do that. Like, oh, if there's a bad tackle with this player, I'm gonna make this pun. Definitely, you're thinking like a commentator, mate. I love it.
Great. I'm gonna try and get Slovakia on the Discord call. And
yes.
So.
I'm going to follow up in my thoughts on those bishops, and I'm going to send Alex a wee screenshot.
Okay, great.
Just to show him.
So,
what would I do in this situation?
Is it possible to invite him into our chat? Probably should have created a chat.
Yeah, 100%. In the Discord, just phone him, and then tell him not. If he wants to put his camera on, I can put mine off. Or if he doesn't want to, then that's fine as well.
It would help if we were friends, because we are not friends yet.
Thanks, Devo. It's really nice of you. Thank you, everyone, for watching the games. We're gonna have a wee chat with Slovakia and ask him how he felt when he won. I'm glad that we're interviewing someone after they've won. It's always a bummer doing it to the one who's lost.
I need his number thing, actually.
Go back to move 8, please.
Move
for
8.
Me.
I will do that.
Yeah, just while we're here.
Yes. Black's move 8 or white's move
8? Well, actually, just before he moves that pawn.
Just before b5. Yeah, I'm there.
Perfect. All right. So, if I'm moving that bishop out to defend that knight, or sorry, to block that knight from moving, I actually don't know what I would do. I think maybe get my bishop out and check, and then there's not really much we could do. We could get kicked out. I'm thinking. I'm trying to figure out what the perfect play for white is here, and I don't think that bishop move is good. That I just suggested to check the king to get it out so we can castle, because unfortunately we're losing that tempo when the pawn moves up twice. So potentially moving rook to b1 works, which forces the queen to move away or the bishop to take the knight on check right away. And then you've got your other knight there to defend it, so you don't have to move your queen, which saves your rook. But this is definitely so. Let's see if just that move instead of the pawn, black is so much better than he was, I think, and also the fact that we've got this juicy little file open for our rook, especially now that we've blown the white's left-hand side wide open with our queen. It means that the king has to castle over there. So even though we've got doubled pawns and our development's not as good, I think black's position here is actually decent. Like I would prefer to be black in this case.
Yeah, and then after b5, everything crumbled really, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, b5 was so straight because it didn't do anything in the end, right? He didn't use that at all. Right?
No.
It was just like you know how when we go, like, imagine he did a nothing move and then this is what happened, what we could do. That is like, he gave us a nothing move, which allowed white to, get castling and move his defense up and get a bit more things going. I love that. Sure. By the way, the queen didn't move at all and he checkmated his opponent.
Yeah, that's some good just stayed Yeah. Great. I've got a friend request from FPL Slovakia. I will accept it. And hopefully bring him into the call in just a moment. So,
how are you doing in FPL then, son?
Yeah.
How are we doing?
I had a green arrow, just a small one, from 280k to 263k. Captain Calvert-Lewin, which I don't know if it was a case of good decision, bad outcome, or it was just a poor decision. I should have gone for Salah, but yeah, I've been climbing ever since game week 7, when I was about 3.5 million and had a good double game week 19. So it's going all right.
Very, very good.
How about for you?
Decent. I benched 2 Man United defenders last game week, and they both came on for a 5 and an 8.
I got Wan-Bissaka on.
There you go. That's good. Wan-Bissaka, 8 pointer. Lovely. He was playing as a second striker, I think, most of that game. It was great.
Was he? I didn't see the game, so.
That's why he got. I think there was a really, really good block. Willian was in the box and he blocked it, and that was pretty good. But he was also taking shots. He had a header off target. It was nuts. He was doing so well.
Yeah. Oh, I've just lost Dave. Sorry, guys. I've just lost Dave. Let me bring Dave back. Whoops. See, it's all this technical stuff, which I am very bad at. But we'll put those 2 in the chat. I swear this will get better, guys. Okay. Hello. Sorry, I accidentally ended our call in trying to get Slovakia in. Carry on whatever you were saying.
Oh, guys, yeah, I mean.
Hello.
Yes. Welcome, FPL Slovakia. What's your real name? Do you don't have to say if you don't want it like out on YouTube, but it might help us address you properly.
Well, I'm sorry, I missed the point.
What is your name? We don't have to keep calling you unless you want us to call you FPL Slovakia or Slovakia for short.
My handle is FPL Slovakia.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So yeah, well played there. That was a really good game. You were very aggressive and it paid off. What are your thoughts on the games there?
Yeah, thanks a lot. I mean, nice games. I want to say that basically Alex played well, and I enjoyed the game. So thanks for the match, man. And besides that, there were some moves that I basically kind of regret. I don't like. I guess in both games I played my pawn to d5, I guess, and that I don't like both of my moves.
Your opening, you don't like your opening in both. I think you played really well. I'm looking back. I don't remember you making a single blunder. I don't think you put anything where it shouldn't have been. There wasn't any issues. I think there were some mistakes tactically and maybe some structure difficulties here and there. I think you had double pawn in both situations. Both games. But everything was defended. There was nothing. Like I noticed that you took a bishop in the first game. And that was the only blunder that I've seen. So you both played exceptionally well, really. Was that something that you were looking into when you were going into this game?
Not really. I mean, I play for fun most of the time. those COVID times, it's funny. And like when Joel's organized the tournament, I sign in and I'm enjoying playing. That's it.
Fair play.
It's good to see. Good to see. Yeah, I think you just capitalised on the opportunities really well that Alex gave you. I think you the checkmate attack was very strong, and yeah, I think it's just at this level, it's just all about creating these threats. And if your opponent misses them, then you can cash in on that. So yeah, I thought you played very well.
Was there any particular point in the game that you just played there that you thought that you were in a losing position?
Well, like as I said, especially in the second game, I played pawn d5 and he went with the queen to b2, right? And there was a moment that fair play from his side, and that was the move that I yeah, I could have avoided, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, then I thought to move my rook to a2, to attack him. I was not sure whether it's necessary or not, so I focused on my plan, and yeah, at the end paid off. So I'm happy.
It was a really, really lovely checkmate. I really enjoyed the fact that you didn't move your queen once and you still checkmated him. It was very, very good.
That's true, yeah, indeed, yeah. Funny game.
It was a funny game as well. There was so much attacking going on. Did you see the B2 move at all, or did you just think I'm getting that pawn in the middle for free?
I have to admit that I didn't see that much.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah,
neither did I.
Instantly he played. I mean, instantly I played d5 upon d5. Then I basically realized there is a threat. And when he played, then I just react. And yeah, for play, he spotted the move. So,
and it should have been a winning move, to be honest. I think it totally opened up the both sides. Where you must have been worried about castling after that, right? Because of that rook on the H file.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought Alex had quite a good position at that point, didn't we? But after he played the pawn to b5, you were able to get your pieces out and start attacking. So it was all okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, how did you enjoy the commentary?
Pardon?
I enjoyed my commentary very much. My commentary, I have to say, I very much enjoyed my commentary. And Joel, you did well as well. I think we could pat ourselves on the back. Commentary well done.
Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
How did you enjoy our commentary? Did you enjoy our commentary, Slovakia?
I mean, I suppose or basically I watched your commentary once in the past. Obviously not today, since I'm not allowed to, right?
I was trying to trick you. All right, okay. Just checking. All right.
Yeah.
We've had some problems with that in the past.
Yeah, and you're a funny guy, like you laugh most of the time, don't care, you don't bother yourself that much, so it's like, yeah. Nice.
I genuinely wasn't looking for actual you to tell me how you thought my commentary was. I was just trying to catch out with the old listening into what we were saying. But that's really nice of you anyway. I appreciate you. Yeah, I gotta turn my laugh off sometimes. Fair play. I agree.
I mean, play for fun, right? So I don't wanna have an advantage listening you make a strategy where to basically kind of like have an advantage. I don't want to do that, right? So yeah, we play for fun.
And are you going to be watching Are you going to watch it back then? Do you think you'll do that? You'll watch the commentary back just to see, what you missed maybe, or if there's anything else that you could have done, or are you just like, nah, I won that game. Thank you, next sort of thing.
Yeah, being honest, my girlfriend is back in work, so I have plenty of time to watch it.
Yes. I love it when the girlfriend's at work. Amazing.
And there's also my brother perhaps watching, so I want to say hello to my brother. And yeah, I have a look. I see what do you think about that. I learned a lot as well out of your commentary, so it's fun. Yeah, I do it.
Yes, it's great fun. I think we enjoy covering the matches as well. So it seems to be a good experience all around. Yeah.
Awesome.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us, and well done again on your victory. How many games have you got left? I'll go back to the standings. You've got a couple more left.
I play again with Stevo, since we played just one match.
Yeah.
And besides that, I suppose one more game and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're in contention for that second place in this division. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, well, on the standings, so you're on 4 points now, along with Stevo, with Rob on 3. Although Ronarid hasn't played any games yet, so you're right in the mix. So if you can aim for that second spot, you may well have a promotion playoff match at the end of things. something to aim for there.
Okay, so perhaps next tournament I play with you in the first division.
We will see. We will see.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll let you head off. And yeah, thanks for joining us. Well played.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks. Yeah. Have a nice evening.
Cheers. See you.
You as well, man. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.
What a lovely guy.
Indeed. So I'm going to try and get you back on screen. Oh, is he still here?
I really want to know his name. He kept his details close to his chest, didn't he? You were like, "What's his name?" And he didn't understand. And then I said, "What's his name?" And he was like, "Yeah, FPL Slovakia." Repping his country, the whole of Slovakia on his shoulders.
Yeah.
What a guy!
The only FPL player in Slovakia, maybe.
Eventually, I want to check that now.
I don't know where he is
definitely
in
gonna check that.
Slovakia League. I'm just gonna. Okay, right. I should be able to see you now. Okay. So you get to see the live technical things that I'm sure on Dave's streams there's none of this fiddling around with technical stuff with his podcast. How's your podcast?
There's plenty of fiddling on my streams. Podcast is going great. We were actually supposed to have our first ever guests on last night, but unfortunately we had to cancel. But yeah, it's been really good. I'm beating the shit out of James. For those who don't know, I do a podcast with James Copeland, or at Tongue and Loftus, I think his name is on Twitter, and he is the CMO of Footstock. We've been podding for a long time now, and we decided to do our own little pod called Firing Blanks. Now, the best part about that is that it's just basically us. We're not really giving an advice out. It's just us chatting about our moves and what transfers we're going to be doing, and me telling him that there's doubles coming up and him panicking, and it's good fun. But there hasn't really been a week yet that he has absolutely destroyed me or blew me out of the water, really, in terms of points. But there has been plenty of weeks where I've just absolutely decimated him. So it's been very fun for me.
Oh, nice! You had an incredible. Was it game week 19? You had a brilliant double game week, didn't you?
Yes, I wildcarded the game week before, and I got 155 points on the double game week. Absolutely mental.
Wow.
I didn't mean it. I thought it was going to go well. I had every intention of it going well, but I didn't expect 150 plus points. It was mental. But yeah, it shot me right up the rank. So I was like 119k. And I ended up at 15k at the end of it, just a huge jump. And that's roughly where I am just now.
What's your best ever finish?
4,000th and something, or 4.2k or something. My highest. I only started playing 3 years ago, so I mean, we all did the whole, filling numbers in a group league from work or whatever 10 years ago, and then you never looked at it again. And I think my first 5 finishes are top 2 million or something really ridiculous. And then 3 years ago, I actually decided, you know what, I really want to win this mini league. So I started reading scout notes and stuff, and realized that I had a knack for it, and came 4,000th my first proper year. And I was like, oh, that's good. I've just won all my workmates' money. That's nice. He said, easy money.
Yeah. I'm similar. I've only been playing properly for about 3 years, and before that I was someone who'd give up after 10 or 12 years.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Exact same. I would realize I haven't changed my captain in 6 weeks. Maybe I'll see who else has a good run for 6 weeks, and I'll just move that captain on there. I remember looking at my captaincy in blocks of 6 for some reason, and he's got decent fixtures because I knew I would never look at it. But yeah, it's gone a lot better since I started changing my captain each week. It's been quite good. Yeah, I would recommend that. Anyone watching right now, if you've been wondering why everyone's passing you, it's because your captain's been on dire for 5 weeks. So go and change that now.
The best FPL advice on these streams. You won't beat that on Dave's pod.
No, you won't get anything on my pod except James's misery and me just giggling all the time. It's really good.
Do you play any other fantasy games? Because I've gone from just FPL the last couple of years, and now I'm doing 4 this season, which is good fun.
Wow, are you doing the so there's FPL, there's NFL, there's the Scottish one, there's the Championship one, and then there's also the Football Manager one. Which ones are you doing?
I'm doing Sky, I'm doing Gaffer and
Why
Champion.
and Sky?
But I am right in the mix to actually win Gaffer. I am second. I've been top for like 3 or 4 weeks. Have you seen that?
Well done.
Do you know who Ali Maxwell is?
No, I don't.
Oh, he presents. So he's on EFL on Quest. You know, the highlights for the Championship and the EFL, and he's also a podcaster. And he's the two of us are kind of battling it out for the top spot in that game at the moment.
Yeah.
It's a bit of pressure. We're in the middle of
That's really good.
We're in the middle of the double game.
I hope you beat him.
I hope I beat him too, but there's something wrong if I do, because I didn't really follow the Championship until this season. So
yeah, that's the thing. Like I do 2 podcasts for the FPL, and doing the chess thing just now, and I don't mean this chess thing. This is kind of a bit of fun, but like working on my chess quite a lot. So me trying to like watch a whole nother league is just so daunting. I don't know if I'd be able to do it. So hats off for everyone who's playing like 5 different fantasy things.
This is definitely enough for me now. I couldn't do any more.
I'm furloughed as well. There's nothing else for me to do. I still know myself enough to be like, I'll get bored so quick.
Yeah.
I'm getting bored of FPL. I'm definitely gonna get bored of EPL.
Getting bored of FPL? How can you get bored of FPL now?
I think it's just because I got to the top 10k and I was like, right, awesome. What's next? what do I do now? I'll help people. That's what I'll do.
Yeah.
Well, that hasn't panned out either.
Yeah. Before we finish off, do you want to have a game or two? I mean, you'll batter me, or we could.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll keep my. We'll do 5-minute games, and I'll make sure that I don't go. I'll have 1 minute. We'll just say if my clock gets to 4 minutes, then I've lost on time. How about that?
5-0 it is. Okay, I'll try and send you a challenge. Oh, I think we've lost your video on the stream.
Because last time I think I'll change. I'll turn.
I can still hear you there.
What was I going to say? Yeah, I tried to do it with no queen last time against Isaac, and that didn't go well at all. It was so difficult.
Okay.
Oh, I got a noise. I heard a noise.
This could go very badly, but let's hope. I guess I'll probably just end up trying to flag you.
That's okay. I'm used to it.
See your bullet skills.
Did you send me a thing? Oh, you did.
I did.
Accept.
There we go.
All right. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Is this rated or unrated? This is rated.
It's rated. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm not playing. I'm not playing you.
That's fine.
I'm not playing you.
Sorry. We can abort the game. We'll abort the game. We'll start again. It's fine.
I'm only joking. I mean, I'm not going to. I'm not joking about that. But it's not a huge deal if it. It's not a huge deal. But yeah, it came up saying if you win, you get a point. If you lose, you get minus 15 points. And I've just hit the sweet spot where my rating is exactly 1800.
Okay, I've reset.
So I'm never going to play on this again. Excellent. Accept. All right. Get ready to feel the pain. It's what I think people would say if they were cool.
Not used to that as a move straight off. Yeah. Okay, we will play this.
James actually likes doing this. He'll be like, "Can we play a random game?"
No biggie so far.
You're doing okay. You're doing okay. Just watch for the devastating move that's coming up next.
Oh, what should I take?
I'm joking.
That was so devastating, honestly.
You coming to watch? My cat's here.
Oh, nice. What's your cat called?
Don't judge. He came with the name. He was 9 years old and we got him from the Scottish SPCA or whatever they're called. He's a rescue cat, and his name is Zabo. I don't even know what that means. I've googled it. I have no idea. But yeah, his name's Zabo, and they actually asked us like, "Do you want us to change the name for you?" And I thought, Nah, don't change his name. He knows his name. He's 9 years old. Like, how can we change the name? That'd be rubbish. He has no idea what his name is. I don't think he's ever like. I've tried to ask him millions of times, like, Sabo, come here, and like, nothing. He either hates me or just doesn't know his name. Might as well have changed it.
That's a shame. That is a shame.
He's away already.
I just need to think about this so I don't lose a piece from the tactic.
Okay, no worries. I'm going to give you more time.
It's the best way to...
That's an actual thing. I didn't find out very recently you can give other people time if it's an unrated game.
We'll have to have a look at that in a minute. Certainly using a fair bit of time here. We'll play...
It's okay.
This move.
I think that was incorrect.
Probably. It was. My whole... maybe not. Yes. No, we're good. No, we're not good. We lose our queen.
Yay!
I can still flag you. Okay, right.
You absolutely could.
Let's go again.
It's going to take a while. Ah, I really wanted to take all your pieces there. All right, send me another one.
I'm not allowing that.
Yeah, do better this time. I believe in you.
That was not a...
There you go. There's your D4. So are you used to playing against D4?
I'm actually less used to playing against it. I haven't really done enough to kind of think about my openings against D4, whereas against D4 I play with Karakan and I'm pretty comfortable with that. So
fair play. You have 5. Oh, yeah, fair play.
Find myself getting in a bit more trouble sometimes. Let's kick you out.
Isaac has said in the chat, am I up for commentary next Monday? I don't know. I'll need to find out what's going on. The games are so thick and thin. I really don't know when we're podding and stuff, but we'll find out. It'll be alright.
Fair dues.
Stop eating the paper.
Also, to address something earlier on in the chat about, I think, whether Az was going to play. I haven't asked him this yet, but we have got a Division 1 match lined up with, there's one player, Tony, next week. We don't know who his opponent is, but Az is one of the players he hasn't played, so it's a possibility. I will have to ask him that, though, because he might be black boxing.
It's always black boxing. When's he going to pass his test?
Yeah.
That was a belter. Thank you very much.
But yeah, let's have a Division 1 match next week, I have to say. It's been... Well, we had one last weekend, actually, but...
I was wondering if you were just going to take my knight with your pawn, and then I would have had to have figured that out. It's all good.
Let's play... Okay. I just need to not blunder like I did in the last game.
That's pretty much all you have to do, and then you should win.
And also, I do have plenty of time to use...
I've never seen my chest face before. I've never really streamed, but I do a lot of putting my hand on my mouth.
It's like your thinking posture.
Yeah. Do a lot of this. A lot of this.
Yeah.
I'm getting a pick of my nose on stream. I can feel it.
Let's just keep developing.
I really wish I had my bloody... Wish I had my bloody black bishop. It'd be very useful right now.
Certainly would.
I guess go here, then here. I don't know yet. I don't know what I want to do yet. So let's just figure it out as we go. I'm running out of time, but I think I found something. Yeah, okay, cool. Nice one.
I don't understand that. Sounding confident.
Not also not used to people listening to me who are playing against me. Usually someone from Nigeria or something.
not that worried right now.
Oh,
But I've
I
got
agree,
three.
Zabo.
Is that not quite good?
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when night comes for your bishop? Bad bishop, bad bishop.
I feel like... Is that not... I was like, is that not just a free pawn?
Potentially, could be. I mean, who knows in this climate?
You've removed your... As we were talking about before, you removed the defender. And is that not
There you
a
go.
free knight?
Ooh,
Is that not
probably.
a free knight? That's a
Probably.
free knight. I don't see any follow-up. I will... No, I won't do that. Ooh, no, it doesn't work. I nearly took the pawn with my bishop, thinking, oh, sacrifice, and hoping you... Well, I didn't see you could take back with the bishop as well as the pawn. So instead...
That would have been awesome, though, if my bishop wasn't there.
Yes, I'll just retreat.
I have done what they call a sneaky. I have absolutely trapped your rook.
I think he's right. He's right.
You also only have 57 seconds left.
Which is not very much. I will... this move.
Okay. Do.
I still feel like there's something in this position for me, but I just don't have that much time to find it. Well, at least I'm putting up a slightly better effort in this.
Yeah, this is much better. I missed the rook move. I missed it. What you gonna do?
I'm seriously running out of time. Oh no, that's a blunder. No, it's not. No, it's not. We're okay. Intermediate queen trade. I'm losing.
Don't worry, I'm giving you an extra. I'll give you an extra 30 seconds.
Very kind of you.
There you go, mate. There you go, mate.
Time trouble is not fun. I don't know what to do. Okay. I should stop dilly-dallying and play a move.
Yeah, I'm so glad that I gave you that time because we'd be
combined with being on stream. I'm like, okay, what do I do? Okay, I'm just gonna do that. Whatever.
Just do anything.
Just do anything.
That's what I would do.
Seriously, running out of time.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
It's a bit of a nothing move, although you have just dropped your knight. Thanks for the free knight.
So good.
I'm going to run out of time, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you are. Oh! Yes! 1 second I had.
No.
Oh, that was great.
That was quite
You did
intense.
so well there.
That was better.
You did so well.
Should we have one more
Well
and
done.
call it a day?
All right, one more, and then we'll... Yeah. Okay, one more. That was really, really good.
That was fun.
I love that you were like, I'm going to flag you. And you ended up running out of time.
Like the only real tactic.
No. I feel like just playing safe in defense. If I was playing someone much higher rated than me, which I've done before, I drew with GM Ben Feingold once. And all I did was...
Nice.
Yeah, in 1 minute chess. We were playing both 1 minute. And it's my greatest chess achievement. He was on stream. I was really drunk. I was watching his stream. And he was like, right, I'm going to do a tournament now. Anyone who's watching can play. And
can we do another one?
that was poor. That was really poor. I was talking as well. So anyway, so I joined his chess thing. Yeah, we can play one more. I joined his chess thing, and it was a tournament with everyone who was watching him that day. And I played a couple games. It was just a 1 minute tournament for about 30 minutes, as many games as you can win as possible. And I eventually came up against him, and I drew. And it was the first time he'd not won a game in the tournament.
Wow.
And I clipped it because it was on Twitch. And I was like, yeah, sent it to all my mates.
Oh, nice.
And I was particularly happy about it because I was really steaming. I was really drunk. So I was quite proud of that. But anyway, yeah, I knew that I've had a lot of experience with 1 minute chess and flagging and all sorts of stuff. So I felt like if I just play safe and retreat when I can and just do normal moves, then hopefully he'll get into time trouble. But it actually ended up I was still the one in time trouble, but I queened a pawn, as it were, and he didn't. And I took all his. I decided that instead of going for the checkmate, I would.
Yeah.
I didn't know what one I wanted to take there. I had to think about that. Yeah, it ended up where he had like 4 or 5 pawns, and I had 1, but it was queening. And then, oh, I like that move. It was queening, and I only had 5 seconds left, and he had like 20.
Yeah.
So with my 5 seconds left, I took all his pawns with my queen. That was my goal. I didn't try and like checkmate him or beat him in 5 seconds because I knew he'd be able to get out of it. So I went for the draw. Very happy with it.
Good.
That was a great move. That queen move.
Yeah. I'm just trying to
Valuable seconds lost.
Do that. It's a bit of is that really good for me? Don't know.
The answer is yes.
I've drawn lots of arrows. I'm weighing up a sacrifice. No, I don't think I'll do a sacrifice. It's probably a bit.
I hope it's not what I think you're doing. That doesn't work because I can just block your queen's check with the second knight.
Yes.
See it? So you take with your knight, I take with my bishop, you take with your bishop, I take with my pawn, you take with your queen, and then I just block it instead of moving my queen so you don't get my rook. Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah. That was. Exactly that.
Aye. See, that's why it's this knight, the natural position of F3 is just so versatile and amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
that's
fine for me. Okay. My bishop
for me too.
Doing very much down there, so I felt it was a bad bishop for an okay bishop.
On time things like this that I am right now, any opportunity for me to trade is good.
Simplify,
yeah.
Fair enough.
I think I probably wouldn't have taken it. But to be fair, your bishop's decent over there because it's where you need to be defending. So taking one of your defenders away from that side of the board is pretty good for me. Especially with only 23 seconds to go. But I don't know what you're doing with your knight. I'm trying to figure that out. I guess to go there, but is that bad for you? It's potentially bad for you because then I get my knight out of the way and then I can move my pawn up. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. And I get my pawn up.
That's okay. I think it's okay. Doing all right on time compared to you, at least.
You are. Well, I am. What would that be? 3/4 of the way down. How many are you? You're probably about 3/4 of the way down yours as well.
Yeah, that's true. Get over here. Okay.
Do.
Can't go there. So.
Yeah, what is it, little man?
Don't
time for dinner. I think you're right.
It's not the best place to put a knight, but hey, it's there now.
No. I was not expecting that. Oh shit.
Oh.
Yeah. Do it. Do it.
With? Oh, thanks. You thought I was going to take with the queen?
You're welcome. No. I just decided to
do the exchange. Okay.
Well, we still have the same amount of. Yeah, I'm just going to give it to you.
I'm not going to get my queen trapped at all, but let's get back here. I don't have much time. I need to move. Grab a pawn, that'll do.
Decent.
Grab another one. It's defended. I need lots of time. Yes.
Yes, well done, mate. Well done. And no time. Well done. Aye, that pawn moved up, and I totally forgot that your bishop was sitting there ready to come down.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well played. Yeah, it's good fun. I think that's quite a good way of doing it, actually, having the handicap of time rather than material.
At least, yeah.
It's decent.
Hopefully we can do that again, though. That was really good.
Yeah.
3 blunders. Jeez Louise, that's not good.
Not good enough.
I'll need to work on my 1 minute versus 5 minute chess.
Yeah, for sure. For next time, if you play me or Isaac or someone else or Az,
Yeah.
Great.
That was my best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining, and thanks to you, Dave, as well for commentating with me. Yeah, it's been great, and we will be back next week, I'm pretty sure, and you will see more details for the next match. I'm close to the time, but it'll likely be same time on Monday evening. Yeah, so I hope you all have great game week 22s, and may your arrows all be green, as they say on various podcasts. I'm probably ripping someone off there. And
it's a good night from me.
Good night.